people got shot at a homeless encampment just off of Lake Street earlier this evening. This is tragic, it is horrible, it's unacceptable, and sadly, it's not surprising. These homeless encampments are not safe, either for the people that are in them, nor are they safe for the surrounding neighborhood. With this particular one, we've been saying this for months. We have been met with resistance when trying to close this particular encampment. We've been trying to do everything possible to get people into shelter, into permanent housing, to make sure that they've got wraparound services, care, addiction treatment, you name it. And here's the truth. We have tried. We have entered and are entering litigation for a public health nuisance. And at the same time, this is a whole lot worse than a nuisance. This is an open danger. The neighborhood deserves better. We will be clearing this encampment immediately after the crime scene has been investigated and taken care of. And I'm appreciative of the additional assistance that we are getting from a number of different jurisdictions. We have asked the state for additional assistance in the form of resources, and I'm grateful to the governor and his administration. They are helping out. I'm grateful to all of the other officers that have done a tremendous amount of work tonight. And I'll just say it again. This is horrible, it is tragic, and it is not surprising. We're going to be clearing this thing immediately.
How many people were struck by gunfire?
Chief.
Sure. So I'll give some details on the shooting as we know him. But unfortunately, here we are yet again in the aftermath of a mass shooting. This is not normal. I'm providing details on yet another multiple victim shooting in which 8 people have been injured by gunfire. This time this occurred at a homeless encampment. Tonight at approximately 10 p.m., Minneapolis police officers responded to multiple reports of shots being fired in the area of South 28th Avenue and East Lake Street. A Minneapolis police officer working off-duty at the target was approached by multiple people running and telling him that there was gunfire outside. The officer exited the store and heard gunfire coming from the area of the encampment just north of East Lake Street and South 28th Avenue. Responding Minneapolis police officers located 5 people that were injured inside of the encampment. 3 had managed to walk out onto the sidewalk behind me. 2 others were located in tents inside of the encampment. So at the scene here at the encampment, we have one woman with a life-threatening gunshot wound. She was shot in the head. That woman was found by police officers that were checking the tents for victims. We have 2 other men with life-threatening injuries. Another male with a gunshot wound to the head who was also found by police inside of a tent. There is another male with a life-threatening gunshot wound to the stomach. There's one male with an apparent non-life-threatening gunshot wound to his leg, one woman with a non-life-threatening injury to her leg. So in addition to those 5 victims, one male with an apparent non-life-threatening gunshot wound walked into Children's Hospital and has since been transferred by ambulance to Hennepin Healthcare. One woman with a graze wound walked into Abbott Northwestern Hospital. One male with life-threatening injuries has arrived at Regions Hospital, gunshot wounds to the neck and torso. So that is a total of 8 victims, 4 with life-threatening injuries, of which 3 are men and 1 is a woman, 4 with apparent non-life-threatening injuries, 2 are men and 2 are women. Investigators are working to determine the sequence of events that led up to the shootings. There are multiple shell casings inside of the encampment, but we're not even certain that we have been able to discover all of them because it is very dense with a lot of debris inside of the encampment. Additionally, while the police were on scene, one of the tents caught fire. We're not certain how the fire was started. The fire department had to respond to extinguish the fire. We have secured the scene, and it will remain secured until it can be cleared tomorrow morning after our Forensic Services Division have finished processing it. The people obviously that are staying inside of these encampments are vulnerable. And we have been saying for a while that these are unsafe and just unsanitary conditions for them. And we are, you know, we regret the tragedy that has happened here tonight. The people of Minneapolis deserve peace and safety. All residents of the city deserve that on their streets and in their neighborhoods and in their homes. And I know it's been a lot of violence lately, and we just want our community to know that we are not going to give up and that we will continue to fight so that every person in this city can be safe. And with that, again, things are very preliminary, but I'll take questions that you have.
Do we know roughly how long the encampment was here at this location?
It's months. I don't know if you have.
Months, plural, at this point. I'm sure you can go back and check the record.
With this, people are saying, you know, once they pop up, why not immediately just tear it down and get rid of it? What would?
Yeah, so with this particular encampment, as you probably know, there's a long saga with it. When it is public property, we are able to very quickly clear. When it is public property, oftentimes we're able to prevent it from getting set up from the very beginning. In this case, it's private land. And we have tried to clear this encampment on multiple occasions. We were met with resistance by the property owner. It made it very difficult, both from a practical as well as a legal perspective. And so ultimately, we moved forward with a public health nuisance order. And that is the litigation that is moving forward now. And at the same time, this is way worse than just a nuisance.
Yeah.
This is a danger to the community. They deserve better. We have an obligation to keep them safe, and this is not safe. Private land, public land, this is just not safe. And as the chief said, these are vulnerable people. We need to be looking out for them. And it is not a compassionate response to just say, let's have this large-scale homeless encampment in any form of permanent fashion. It doesn't work. The amount of drugs that are coming into these encampments is extraordinary. It's a customer base for people that are looking to prey on vulnerable individuals. And it's a problem.
Have you spoken with Mr. Sabri since the shooting occurred?
I have not.
Do we know if this was at all related to the earlier mass shooting further down Lake Street?
We don't know for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised. I'll let the chief expound on that a little bit.
Yeah. So I don't think I mentioned in my remarks, there's, just like Lake Street today, there's needles and drug paraphernalia all over the place. It's obviously close, and it's obviously similar conditions. So while the investigation is still very, very preliminary, that is certainly not something that we can rule out. And of course, it's something that we want to consider.
Do we have any evidence to suggest the shooter or shooters knew folks in the encampment, or do we need to be worried about people targeting the most vulnerable in our communities?
So again, it's preliminary, but it does appear that individuals came here with a purpose. At least one individual, one shooter that did. But we also believe, based on the evidence, that there was an exchange of gunfire. So at least two people were shooting.
So we have two mass shootings in one day.
Yes.
The National Guard, I mean, is that being brought up as something to help assist to maintain order? I mean, it's spiraling.
So the mayor has gotten us assistance from the state. I expect state troopers to be patrolling Lake Street again, if not tomorrow, very soon. I've been in conversations with the Hennepin County Sheriff and the BCA. They have been redirecting additional investigative resources into this part of the city because this is where we have been most affected by the uptick in violence. But the bottom line is we are a police department that was typically staffed with 900 cops, and we have 600. We're still down a third with a much higher volume of services that are needed. So, of course, one thing we need is bodies wherever that could come from.
And that's what I'm coming to ask.
Yes.
Is that a prolonged thing that's going to go on with the assistance from the troopers and the county sheriff, or is that just for a temporary kind
I hope it can be as long as it is needed. I have not heard a time commitment yet. I know the sheriff's office is here every day anyway, and she has offered to reassign the resources that are already here proactively into this area.
Do you have a sense of how many rounds were fired in this incident?
I don't know how many rounds were fired in this incident. I do know that there's at least there are reports that it could be as many as 30, and that's just from people reporting what they heard. But again, it's difficult to tell right now because there's the casings are all over the place inside the encampment. Some inside of tents even. And anything else?
Do you want to say anything just about the past 12 hours? It's been, again, pretty chaotic for everybody.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's been the past couple of weeks. You know, I know there's just been a lot of, there's been far too many victims. There's been a whole lot of trauma in the community. Just people need to know we are not going to quit. We're going to continue to do everything that we possibly can, both to hold these folks accountable and try and do things to prevent future violence from happening. We had the shooting today on Lake Street. We had been in meetings with other partners to try and do something about that particular area, and the mayor gave the order to immediately shut that down, and that is closed now. It will remain closed. And I think we need to do the same thing here because these environments, we have a lot of people congregating, that there's obviously folks using drugs in an environment that is just permissive for that. And it's bringing with it these associated problems. You know, you have a dispute over fentanyl, you can't call the police. This is how those types of disputes are settled. That's right. That's the problem with this. And it just leads to all sorts of other disorder and chaos when these large assemblies are allowed to remain.
Yeah. Chief, just to be clear, an arrest has not been made at this hour in this incident or the earlier one today, correct?
No arrest yet.
Is there a suspect?
There's an arrest on the domestic violence Sunday morning in North Minneapolis.
Any leads to a suspect or anything involved in this shooting?
There is no suspect at this time, but there is a lot of evidence that people are going through. There's investigators that have come in from home, people who are reviewing stuff. We have a lot of folks working on this right now.
One more thing.
Yes, Mayor.
Liz, you had asked earlier if I had talked with Sabri. The answer is no, but as soon as this crime scene has been investigated, we're shutting this thing down. If he wants to sue us, he can. If he wants to take this up in court, that is certainly his prerogative, but this is not safe. This is a danger to the community, and it's being shut down right now.
And just one clarification thing, is it believed that all of the shots occurred on his property, or did some come from the street and then lead into it?
Quite a few cases that are on the property.
Yeah. I don't think we have found any discharged shell casings outside of the property, outside of the lot. I believe there might be one bullet in the alley that was not fired, just left, maybe related, maybe totally unrelated. But everything that's been found here has been found inside of the encampment.
Thank you for the clarification.
Do we have any idea how many people might have been there at the time?
I don't have that number. I do know the officers, again, were just literally checking every tent to make sure that people were okay and able to get out.
And we believe that all 8 of those, regardless of what hospital they landed at, were
victims
at the
inside
time.
of the encampment. Yep.
Question for you, Mayor. Do you blame him for this?
Look, now is not the time for blame. Now is the time to make sure that the victims of these shootings are taken care of, and we're looking out for them. And it is time that we all recognized a very simple truth, which are that these homeless encampments are not safe. While there are many causal factors, the primary one is deep addiction. These are people that are vulnerable, and we need to be looking out for them. And I don't think we're looking out for them by simply allowing these encampments or these open-air drug markets to just continue to exist. You know, when you have anything that ends a huge portion of the time with either an explosion or significant shooting, that thing should probably not be allowed to continue. That's the case with this homeless encampment.
Folks, thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Right.